Today's words of wisdom, from crisis to peace, the whole universe is blessing us, will be presented in Spanish and English, with subtitles in Arabic, or Laxese, or Vietnamese, Chinese, Dutch, English, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mongolian, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Punjabi, Romanian, Russian, Spanish, Thai, Turkish and Urdu. More languages are available online. For your special language, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/subtitles. On Saturday, June the 4th, 2011, the 10th Annual Expo Sur, a leading international health forum, was held at Mexico's World Trade Center in Mexico City, bringing together organizations, companies, philosophers, and experts specializing in health, spirituality, meditation, and yoga. Accepting the invitation of Expo Sur's founder, Miss Mary Lou Figueroa, Supreme Master Ching Hai graced the event as the honored guest speaker via video link. Having met Supreme Master Ching Hai last year at the United Nations Climate Change Conference, Ms. Figueroa was inspired by her dedicated work for the planet and humankind. During the video conference, Supreme Master Ching Hai lauded the Mexican government for its green endeavors, while encouraging all in the world to adopt the organic vegan solution for halting climate change. We now invite you to join us for part 2 of the 5-part rebroadcast of the live video conference with Supreme Master Ching Hai, titled From Crisis to Peace, the Whole Universe is Blessing Us, held on June the 4th, 2011 in Mexico City, Mexico.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Now we also have extreme heat for glaciers. In this same heat, we also have trouble on a bigger scale in Mexico due to this heat. For example, the glaciers on the dormant volcano Iztaccíhuatl. As tropical glaciers, they are rare both in Mexico and in the world. However, they are now melting much faster than scientists previously predicted. With 2 out of the 5 glaciers that have already disappeared, now snowfall is less frequent than before, and vegetation is appearing at higher altitude. As is the case elsewhere in the world, Mexico's disappearing glaciers spell trouble for populations and agriculture that depend on the annual snowmelt for drinking water and hydropower. So the extreme heat not only makes us feel hot, but as the glaciers melt, livelihoods, food, drinking water, etc., etc., also face a real meltdown. But with the bad news, well, there's also good news for Mexico, thank God. When I was there, I met a lot of your journalists who are also dedicated to saving the planet and really concerned about the world, as well as many leaders, including your esteemed president, who has been at the forefront of international efforts to halt climate change. By the way, I send my heartfelt congratulations to President Calderon for the award he has just received in May. He was honored with the 2011 Champions of the Earth Prize from the United Nations Environment Program, or UNEP. You know that, right? Do you know?
Wow. Yes, we know, Master. We are very proud.
Good. You should be proud of him. I met him, I was so proud of him. I tell him, thank you for all the things you do for Mexicans. I love your people, I told him. And he said, I love them too. I love that. I like what he said. Yes. And his speech at the United Nations was also very, very interesting. He even mentioned that his wife is a very wise person. I'm sure she is, huh? Behind a great man, there's always a great woman. So, for his outstanding leadership in addressing climate change at both global and national level, the United Nations UNEP has honored him with a great prize. I also join myself in salute to His Excellency with all my support and admiration. And I congratulate your country for having such a wise and loving, caring leader.
Thank you, Master.
Now we applaud
Muchas
him.
gracias, maestra.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, we applaud him, huh?
We are very
A big round of applause for your president and your government. I love this kind of government. Okay, now first, let's go through some of the major news on how climate change is affecting Mexico. Researchers at NASA found that we are on a path to seeing an unprecedented number of forest fires around the world, pretty much all driven by global warming. This is already happening in Mexico as well. You know that, I think. Extreme dry conditions have set off more than 5,700 forest fires in your country during the first 4 months of 2011. This is new. This is recent. Scorching about 150,000 hectares of land. You know, your country is already affected a lot by climate change, and now these forest fires make it worse. Your president, Philip Calderon, also attributed these forest fires to climate change. You see, he's very up to date. He's very on top of events in your country. He's a good president. Even now, Quintana Roo state is dealing with its worst fire season in a decade, with a total of 122 blazes reported and people having to be evacuated from their homes. Imagine how much challenge they have to face in this situation. And the children have to be interrupted from school, and the husbands, the wives is also disrupted with their works, their jobs, and they might be losing everything they have earned with their hard work all their life. You see, the world's coral reef systems also, which include the second largest one in the world, it's just off the coast of Mexico, is also experienced the second worst year of bleaching, meaning damage due to prolonged, unbearably hot temperature in 2010. And the coral reef in the Gulf of Mexico area are also still reeling from the big oil spill of the US coast recently, Bear in mind that the coral reef health are vital to ocean health. They support 1/4 of all marine life on the planet. Now, we talk about drought. Drought is affecting 40% of your country. Certainly, this has very difficult, huge, invisible impacts on the farmers. Take, for example, Mexico's Mayan community of Tabi. This village of 400 people have relied on their farming traditions for 2,500 years, with weather patterns that were precise and predictable. However, in the past 15 years, they have lost up to 60% of their crops due to the changed climate. To survive, Tabi residents are having to adapt by learning new farming practices, and sometimes they have to search for different jobs, which is hard to find also. If they have been farmers all their life, what else can they do? How can they find another job that easily? Even if they do find jobs elsewhere, this often takes them away from their home and family. It's not a nice situation, because Mexico people, they're very family-oriented and very social and neighborly. So if they have to move away elsewhere to work, imagine how lonely they felt and how challenging for their family having to part with their loved one, like father or mother. Now, tests by the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center in Mexico have shown that maize, the vital grain once thought to be a heat-tolerant crop, actually declines because of prolonged high temperatures, especially when there is drought. For every 10% of lost crop yields in Mexico, another 2% of residents are likely to leave their country. So up to 6.7 million Mexican people may be forced to leave, for example, by 2080. It would be so disruptive and challenging to the lives of so many uprooted families, not to mention heartbreaking for the relatives and friends and for the person who are going away themselves. We also have freezing temperature. It's on top of all that. Climate change brings not only drought, but also extremely freezing weather. The National Autonomous University of Mexico, or UNAM, released a report in February affirming that heavy snowstorms coming earlier this year in Mexico, the United States, and Europe were linked to climate change again. Even cold weather also linked to climate change. So you see, climate change affects us in many different ways, not just the heat, the drought, the flood, the disease, food shortage, etc., but even the cold. Over 4 million metric tons of maize were lost from Mexico's Sinaloa state due to severe frost conditions. In response, President Felipe Calderón quickly offered federal aid to try and help farmers recover the vital crop to avoid a food shortage and high prices. Again, we applaud the President and the government of Mexico for a prompt response to crisis. But how long can the government continue helping people? How long will the storage supply last if the weather continues to be a burden to the nation and getting worse as the time go by? Also, the Mexican government witnessed climate change causing disease and loss to corn species in other parts of the world. Thus, the government wisely decided to preserve the integrity and resiliencies of her 60 native varieties of corn by turning down the offer to implement genetically modified versions. Wow, I really am impressed with your government decisions. This is a laudable eco-conscious actions and a health-conscious actions for your country, people. Really, your government care for its subject, for the health of the Mexicans. I would like you to applaud again your government and your president.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you, Maestra.
No, I thank you. I thank your government. Now, we come to the forest in Mexico. Forests are important for maintaining water supplies and protecting communities from flooding. Forests are also very much needed to stop climate change because they can store tremendous amounts of greenhouse gases for us. But right now, 20 to 25% of emissions are actually coming from the forests themselves because of climate change and deforestation. Burning forests causes a massive release of CO2, carbon dioxide, that has been stored in the trees. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, Mexico has been ranked as one of the 5 countries in the world with the largest losses of primary forest area in the last 20 years. One of the most dramatic examples is the state of Tabasco, which has lost 1 million hectares of forest, or 58% in the past several decades. Now, Tabasco has only 100,000 hectares of forest remaining. How sad for your country and for the world. The primary cause has been the expansion of livestock farming. More than half of the state's land was already converted into cattle pasture by 1980. Scientists say that the land, this Eden deforested, is at high risk of suffering the shocks of climate change. There is a higher vulnerability to flooding, soil erosion, as well as loss of biodiversity if we lose the forest. Livestock grazing has also been identified as the main cause of deforestation in Michoacán state. Latin American countries that are rich in forest cover are at risk of losing trees mainly as a result of large-scale agriculture. But not for food for human, no. It's mostly related to livestock production. livestock farming, not food farming, yes? And not only Mexico, but even the world's largest remaining tropical rainforest, the Amazon. The livestock industry is a significant driving cause of forest destruction.
Some of the diseases related to meat consumption and/or production. Fatal prion diseases transmissible through air or milk. Rabies, anthrax, sleeping sickness, Q fever, norovirus. Swine flu. Ebola restin virus. Cured meats and fish increase leukemia risk in children. Antibiotic-resistant superbug infections from a strain of Staphylococcus aureus. Blue tongue disease, E. coli, salmonella, bird flu, mad cow disease, or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, 90% of the population at risk. Pig's disease, or PMWS, listeriosis, shellfish poisoning, preeclampsia, Campylobacter, Clostridium difficile, diseases hidden in healthy-appearing livestock.
Some of the costs of meat eating.
Infertility. Eating just one serving of meat per day increases the risk of women's infertility by 32%, with additional meat consumption increasing the risk.
Heart disease. Over 17 million lives lost globally each year. Cost of cardiovascular disease is at least $1 trillion a year.
Cancer. Increased childhood cancers and adult reproductive cancers from hormones in meat.
Colon rectal cancer. Over 1 million new colon cancer patients diagnosed each year. More than 600,000 colon cancer-related mortalities annually. In the United States alone, colon cancer treatment costs about $6.5 billion. Millions of people are newly diagnosed with other meat-related cancers every year.
Diabetes. 246 million people are affected worldwide.
An estimated $174 billion spent each year on treatment in just the United States. Obesity. Worldwide, 1.6 billion adults are overweight, with 400 million more who are obese. Costs $93 billion each year for medical expenses in the United States alone. At least 2.6 million people die annually from problems related to being overweight or obese.
Environmental. Use up to 70% of clean water. Pollute most of the water bodies. Deforest the lungs of the earth. Uses up to 43% of the world's cereal. Uses up to 85% of the world's soy. Cause world hunger and wars. 80% cause of global warming. Plus more.
Some of the costs of milk consumption. Cowpox from milking cows. Bacterial microbes, pesticides, and enzymes found in cheese derived from the inner stomach linings of other animals. Up to 80% of the calories in cheese are from pure fat. Breast, prostate, and testicular cancer from hormones present in milk. Listeria and Crohn's disease. Hormones in saturated fat leads to osteoporosis, obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Linked to higher incidences of multiple sclerosis, classified as a major allergen, lactose intolerance, plus more.
For help quitting, please visit
For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers.
We have not been very responsible of our environment. This is a very sad thing, and it's affecting us right now. I hope deforestation will stop. We have to thank also many individuals, leaders who are working to stop deforestation. By the way, I thank them all. Let's hope the world listen and protect the lung of our planet. Not just the lung of our planet, but the health of our planet. The forest, the precious forest. Now in Mexico, still 33% of the land is covered and blessed by forest. Thanks to the Mexican government, who reversed the deforestation program and made it more lustful again. And just a few months ago, Mexico was lauded as the top nation, in the world for sustainable management of forests. Hey? Thank you. Thanks to your government and to your people. I would be proud if I'm a Mexican. Very proud.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Master,
Thank you, Master. Gracias.
Yes, the Mexican made some mistakes before in deforestation, but they changed quickly. They realized the mistake and they reversed it. We all make mistakes, but the thing is to do the opposite, to reverse, the action. Now, the World Bank announced that through a 13-year joint program with the Mexican government, over 800,000 hectares of forest have been given to indigenous peoples. And as a result, 70% of all the forests are owned and cared for by the local communities. How wise, such a wise policy. Many countries should learn from this. And today, Mexico's deforestation rate is half of what it has been a decade ago. It's a good news, huh? This endeavor has also facilitated general conservation, job creation, and betterment of local governance. In addition, the new jobs have enabled over 6,200 villagers to remain in their locality instead of having to move away due to work shortage. I can applaud your country forever.
Gracias, maestra. Gracias.
That's right. Yeah. And I can congratulate Mexicans forever also. Congratulate. And much love. God bless you. That's why I'm here today. Also, you see, it was a little difficult for me, and I supposed to be meditating more, but I'm also involved in this because I love your country. I love the improvement that your people and your government has made, the effort you put into conserving the land, the forest, and protecting the health of the people. So I made a reservation of time. I tell you a secret, it cost me millions of zillions of spiritual points because I appear here today. This cost me about 2-3 days without meditation very well. But I thought I should participate instead of my representative because I like what the Mexican people have been doing. I like your president. I like your government. Yes. Because I was happy to hear of this project.
Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank to you. And of course, not just happy, but I also offer a humble contribution of $50,000. Well, $50,000 is not much, to such a great project like that. But it's a symbol of support and gratitude from my part to all involved in your country and outside of your country in realizing this beautiful endeavor. Because it affects not only Mexico, but it will affect the world. We are all linked together. If you protect Mexico, you also, by the way, protect the world. So I also am very grateful. Furthermore, your President Philip Calderon announced during the climate summit in Cancun that he was determined Mexico would achieve zero deforestation within the next decade. Pray for him, okay? Pray for him to do that, yes.
Yes, Master.
I pray for him, for your country, yes, so that you can realize not just that, but more. It's important to protect Mexico. It's important to protect every country, of course. But any country who can do that, who is at the forefront, we are especially grateful and give a high salute.
Es un excelente estilo de vida, es para vivir más sano. La conferencia estuvo muy práctica para las personas que somos de aquí de México y vivir mejor, ¿no? Fue una excelente conferencia.
Optar por una vida vegana, yo creo que es una forma de vida muy saludable y además que es una forma de ayudar al planeta y de ayudar a los animales. Y es una forma noble, ¿no? Como dice la maestra, de compasión, y es una forma también amorosa hacia nosotros y hacia el mundo.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centres near you.
Earth Protective viewers, we appreciate your warm-hearted presence for today's episode of Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 3 of From Crisis to Peace, the whole universe is blessing us. Now, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Golden Age technology, coming up next, right after noteworthy news. May heavens bless you and your loved ones with much love and abundance.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW